While the holidays are a joyful time for many, there are families struggling with the harsh reality of a loved one diagnosed with dementia. Let's welcome award-winning educator and best-selling author Dr. Macy Smith. Her recent book, The Journey, A Dementia Caregiver Called to Action, offers a blueprint to help families through the experience before, during, and after diagnosis. So glad to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Stunning to learn that according to the Alzheimer's Association, 7 million people today have dementia. That's projected to double in the next 25 years.
Absolutely.
So understanding what it looks like, how to go through the process, and to take action are very important.
Ideally, because it helps to support the caregiver, the person who's giving all of themselves to someone else and probably not taking good care of themselves. And so you want to be able to better understand so that way you can develop a plan for care that ultimately supports the person living with the disease and also the caregiver.
What are some of the signs? How do you kind of assess the situation?
Thank you for asking that question, because the holiday season is a time when families get together and they may see certain things that they may ignore or push to the back of the brain. And so we want family members to make informal assessments. Take a look at their activities of daily living, their dressing, their bathing, their hygiene. How are they looking? Are they looking disheveled? Do they normally have a full face of makeup? They're all put together, dressed nicely, and now they're not. Something may be happening. Then you want to take a look at the environment. You know, is their home in disarray and this is not who they are? This has never been who they are. Like my mama, that ain't gonna happen. You're not gonna find a lick of dust.
Yeah.
If I do, something may be happening. Also, is there any spoiled food in the refrigerator? Mobility, how are they getting around the house? Are they holding onto furniture? Are they getting lost in their own home, a home that they've been in for 30, 40 years? And then memory, you know, are they forgetting what you just told them? Are they forgetting things that they've always known, like birth dates and how to bake a cake? And then you wanna keep in mind, you know, it may be something that can be explained. It may not necessarily be dementia, but these are the areas we want family members to take note of if they encounter it.
And how you address it is very important, because you don't want to call them out on it.
No.
You don't want to ever say, well, I just told you this.
Yeah.
You know, and to take that kind of an approach.
And that's what we typically do when we're talking with our parents or someone who we think may need some help. We want to remind them of what they should know. You just want to tell them. If they ask you the same thing you just told them, tell them again. It's easier, because it's going to cause undue stress and it's going to create a stressful situation that doesn't have to be.
And of course, with the onset of dementia, there are flashes of time when everything is perfectly normal, right?
Yeah.
So how do you enter into the conversation to say, we need to see a doctor, we need to check into this, I've noticed certain things? How do you even bring it up so as to not offend them?
Yeah, you know, and as our family members get older, they get a little secretive. You know, they're not forthcoming about certain things that they want to keep private. And so you don't want to say to them, I think something is wrong. You don't want to highlight the inadequacies or possible disabilities. You want to write down, get a notebook, tell my caregivers all the time, get a notebook, write down what you're seeing, and then talk to other family members or friends and compare notes. And then you may want to say, you know, Mom or Dad, when is your next appointment? You know, I'd like to join you, so that way we both can hear what the doctor is saying, because, you know, sometimes what they say don't really make any sense. Right. And then when you go to that doctor's appointment, you want to be sure that your loved one adds you to their HIPAA form, so that way you can have the conversation with the doctor, and also help your loved one set up an electronic health record. And so when you help them set up an electronic health record, you always have access to the information. So we don't do it sneakily, I mean, but we just strategize to ensure that we can have untethered access to our parents or our loved ones' physicians.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Going back to what you said, I think is a wonderful idea, is to compare notes with trusted people around that person as well. So it's not just you taking the notes, but you're assessing and kind of bouncing off of each other to kind of compare and contrast those observations.
Right.
So then once it's time to take action, then how do you enter into that next phase where, okay, so there's clearly an issue, the doctor's now made the diagnosis, what are the next steps?
So the next step is to build that team. You have to have a team, because you can't be there to do it all. Many of us have Superwoman or Superman syndrome, and we think that we can do it all, but we can't. It's going to start weighing on your psyche, and it's going to ultimately negatively impact the level of care and the type of care you give to your loved ones. They don't need you to reparent them. They need a partner, not a parent. And so in my latest book, A Dementia Caregiver Called to Action, The Journey, it tells family members how to develop that team, who to call, what to say, and what to expect. It truly is a blueprint. It is a starting point, but it gives families the support that they need to go through the journey.
And you can find that book wherever fine books are sold. Thank you so much, Dr. Smith, for joining us. Appreciate you. We're back after this.